Tonight on Walk the Plank, we get you ready for the big Halloween episode of Dead and Buried Treasures with series creator Eric Sprouse. I premiere a brand new design for the Redbubble Dead and Buried Treasures shop, which will be seen here tonight first, exclusively on Walk the Plank. We're going to give you a sneak peek at tonight's movie and answer your mailbag questions. All that and more coming up next. Welcome to Walk the Plank, the Dead and Buried Treasures pre-show. I'm your host, Rich Kanji, and joining me as always is the series creator for Dead and Buried Treasures, Mr. Eric Sprouse. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, Rich. Another year, right? Another Halloween show. It'll be a lot of fun tonight. This is our big finale of our marathon we've had on BPTV all weekend. We've been on there, 24 hours or overnight during the day. So this is our big finale, a new show, and it'll be a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah, you were quite the busy man for Halloween, weren't you?
I was.
The marathon, but also a parade, if anybody saw you at the parade.
Well, the funny thing is I really wanted to see Jasper up here in the parade, and I wanted to see Aline. Well, when I say Jasper, I mean Chris Presley, who plays Jasper on the show. I wanted to see Aline, who plays Mirabella the Mermaid, in the parade, but they had conflicting schedules. Aline, of course, is tied up at Gross Fest. It's a convention for her movie making career, and of course, Chris lives south, way down in Virginia, so he couldn't make it because he thought about it. I'm not kidding. He actually thought about it. He says he's going to save it to go to some conventions with us next year. So the parade was a lot of fun. Your missus was there. We had a great time. We were riding around, tossing candy. And for those of you who didn't get a chance to see it, we FaceTimed the entire event from inside our car so people could see where we are and what road we were turning onto and things like that. And we had little kids dodging all my Tootsie Rolls we were at them.
You're a dangerous man with those Tootsie Rolls.
Oh, man. I said it's my old football days, but I think I pulled something, throwing a couple Tootsie Rolls. But it was a lot of fun. It was this past Saturday, October 29th, and it's been a great Halloween weekend, a lot of fun, and it was some great memories, and can't wait to do it again next year.
I agree.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I can do that. I love Halloween. It's so much fun, especially with our show, where it's Halloween all year long.
I was waiting for you to say that.
That's what pays the bills, Rich.
I know. So, going along with Halloween, since this is our Halloween special, big news for tonight's sponsor. Huge. Yep. I'll let you take this one because I'm too excited. I can't speak.
It's a lot of fun. We are sponsored tonight by Halloween Ends. So Michael Myers, Jamie Lee Curtis are sponsoring the show. Tonight we're going to have a couple of new trailers. For those of you who have not seen Halloween Ends yet, it's in theaters now. It's also exclusively on Peacock, which is where I'll be watching it. And we have two new trailers. We have an interview with Jamie Lee Curtis tonight on our show. We have a special guest from Halloween Ends on the show. And we have I want to say an exclusive clip, but I'm pretty sure it's just a clip. Let's say exclusive, just for lack of a better term. We have an exclusive clip from Halloween Ends between Jamie Lee Curtis and Michael confronting each other. So it'll be a lot of fun tonight. And our sponsor is really gone out of their way to work with us, and it's been amazing. So we're actually sponsored by the producers of Halloween Ends. It'll be a great night.
Man, that's a lot in one special episode. I don't know how you're going to top this one. I honestly, I loved last year's. I loved the Night of the Living Dead special. I always told you that is my favorite episode.
Yeah.
But now I'm starting to think, move over Night of the Living Dead. I think you're going to top this one, because not only do you have these exclusive interviews and trailer and clips for Halloween Ends, but tonight's episode, wow, you were a busy traveling man.
Yeah, this is a good show tonight. It's I like to do a little something different. And the bad news yet the good news was we were in the middle of a mythology storyline. And when we last left our heroes, we were about to be attacked by the main bad guy, the big episode everybody's been waiting for. But the guy in charge of my visual effects was creating miniatures of the bad guy ship and our ship, and they're amazing. Wait till you see these miniatures. In fact, I think we might take a quick look at them tonight. These are some pictures here that you're looking at of the miniatures under construction, and the bad guy ship looks a lot like the Flying Dutchman. It's all ghostly, and if you look at it head on, it looks like a shark mouth. And it's really cool how he created this. And then the other ship, of course, is based on Queen Anne's Revenge. It's more homey. It's kind of, and they all light like miniatures. So we've really gone out of our way to make the next episode, which should have been this episode, a fun one with a battle that everybody's been waiting for a year. But Halloween came upon us. It was too late to cancel. And we had to do a Halloween show. So we consider this one still in the running. Like, if it goes episode 401, 402, 403, this would be episode 404, and the battle would be 405, because we call this one a special. So it's kind of inserted in the count where we kind of take a breath, like to do a special for Halloween, then get right back into the mythology next time. So tonight we want to do something really cool and visit some haunted places in the area. Now, if you recall, not last year, but in years past, we've ventured to haunted attractions in the area, but we have never done haunted actual places that are haunted, that ghost hunters would go into. So we ventured to Fort Necessity, which is this side of Pennsylvania's battlefield, Gettysburg. It's like this side of Pennsylvania's Gettysburg. So it was George Washington's only loss in his brilliant military career. This was before the Revolutionary War, about 20 years. That's what started the French and Indian War. So we ventured to Fort Necessity to check out the ghost reportings up there. We also go to the Century Inn in Scenery Hill, which is, if you walk in this place, it's absolutely gorgeous. It looks just like the 1700s inside. And there are things that go on there. Then we also go to what I'm wearing right now, Buffalo Bills. I worked on Silence of the Lambs many, many years ago, and Buffalo Bill's actual home, seen in the Jodie Foster and Anthony Hopkins film, was in Menneson, in the Menneson area, in Perryopolis, to be more accurate. And it still looks the same.
Wow.
I'm amazed. Now, he's really spruced it up to give it more of a Silence of the Lambs feel to it. There's actually a life-size Hannibal Lecter that greets you at the door. A lot of fun how they put it all together. You see all that tonight on the show. And we also ventured to the Connellsville Carnegie Library, which they built a library over top of a graveyard, and they never moved the bodies. No. So that's a haunted library. Have we learned nothing from Poltergeist?
Yeah, really. Yeah, and, you don't build over grave sites.
Yeah, and so the place is haunted, and we have actual photos of a ghost captured in a stairwell on the show tonight. We'll let you be the judge on that. And finally, we also go to the Mount Washington Tavern, which is an area near Fort Necessity. It's on the grounds where people would stop to stay overnight, drink. It's a tavern on Route 40 on National Road. And it's going to be a fun night. It'll be a scary night, and I couldn't think of a better show to do it on than Halloween.
I agree. I can't wait. I love seeing these attractions. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. tonight's movie
Oh
goes
yeah.
by two different names, as you schooled me on earlier,
Yep.
which is really, really cool.
Mhm.
How about you to give us a little preview of that? What can we expect?
I tell you what, the fun thing about this movie is I always like to do really good horror films for our Halloween shows, and tonight is no exception. We have never done a Dracula film on Dead and Buried Treasures, so there's a lot of good ones out there. There's some that's not so good, but this one, of course, features my man. I hate to say my second favorite. He's probably right there with Bela Lugosi as far as actors who have portrayed Dracula. Christopher Lee,
Mhm.
and he of course fights Peter Cushing as Van Helsing, and that's a great tandem. They were good friends in real life. Christopher Lee helped Peter Cushing get over the death of his wife in real life by helping him, do these movies. And they made about 3, 4, maybe 5, half a dozen films together,
Wow.
and various characters, including Dracula and Van Helsing. And this is the concluding chapter to the trilogy when they were making these Dracula Van Helsing films. And it was also Christopher Lee's final portrayal of Dracula, called Count Dracula and His Vampire Brides. And that's the American title. It was released in the UK as The Satanic Rites of Dracula. But when it was released in America, they edited out about 6-7 minutes of footage to make it more clean, because the original title was Satanic Rites of Dracula. So there was some nudity that I thought was absolutely not necessary. And so they edited it out. And a satanic worshiping thing that goes on in the beginning of the film. And I actually edited it out to make the print cleaner and jump right into the plot. And it's a lot more fun that way. You don't even miss it. And if I wouldn't have said anything tonight, you would think, wow, pretty good. But I took it out. There's no reason for it. And I preferred it that way. And we cleaned up the print, sharpened it, made a better, not high definition, but a better resolution picture. So, and the reason I chose it was because when I was a kid, Chilly Billy in the Pittsburgh area hosted that movie one time, and it had the most memorable death scene for Dracula to me. And I never forgot it. I was like, oh, this is the one I remember. And it's not what you think, how Van Helsing defeats Dracula. It's really cool. It's very brilliant how Van Helsing does it. And I'm not going to give you any spoilers, but I think you'll love it tonight. It's a good movie.
Wow, I can't wait. So let's take a little sneak peek here at Count Dracula and His Vampire Brides.
Good stuff.
Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing together in Count Dracula and His Vampire Bride. The king of the undead marries the queen of the zombies.
On this, the eve of the Sabbath of the undead, I call upon you to witness my supreme triumph. Van Helsing, the body of your granddaughter will never be corrupted.
And the devil himself is exorcised.
My revenge has spread over centuries and has just begun!
Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing, the ultimate power is revealed as the two masters of menace grapple for the souls of the living and the dead. Count Dracula and His Vampire Bride.
Well, that looks great. I can't wait to see this. And I appreciate you editing and cleaning it up because it's going to make that much more enjoyable for me. So
Yeah,
I appreciate
kind of
it.
it was kind of a gray print, where they have the brightness up on it really high. And I'm more of a big fan of contrast with the old films. So we kind of darkened it, but gave it more rich color. And I think it plays better that way. It is a great movie. And the nice thing about it tonight, because it is Halloween, we're premiering it on WTP, which is our flagship station. We're also premiering it on the Vortex in a simulcast.
Oh, wow.
So that's a lot of fun. And I will say for fans out there who watch us nationally that don't live in Pittsburgh, the Halloween episode we did originally with Night of the Living Dead will be on November 2nd at 9:00 on the Vortex. They didn't have any room. There's just too many good horror movies and horror films and horror hosts out there that have been doing things for all of October, what with the Horror Host Hall of Fame. And by the way, before we can move on, I want to say congratulations to the Spooky Spectre, Harry Metz, who got accepted into the Horror Host Hall of Fame. Geez, I can't believe it's been that long. Almost 30 years ago, Harry and I co-created Fright Night Friday, which was a series that was seen in the Pittsburgh area. And he kept it going. And I had moved away, to teach at different colleges in DC and Philadelphia and Cincinnati. But he kept it going on a show called Fright Night Theater and kept Spooky going. And he got into the Horror Host Hall of Fame. So I want to say congratulations. Hopefully someday we all can go into the Horror Host Hall of Fame with him.
I agree. Congratulations. That is great.
Yeah, that's a good word for him.
Before we get into some of our mailbag questions, I actually have something to share. Now, as you know, and some of the other people on Facebook have seen that I've been doing Inktober in October, which is submitting a sketch every week or every day for the whole month of October. Right. And I decided to do horror themed sketches, and I've been doing one every day for the whole month of October and stuff like that. But one that actually pertains to you, which as an actual, well, we're going to call this an exclusive, Walk the Plank exclusive, seen here on this show before anybody else. This just in. Before anybody else sees it, before it's released on social media or anything else, I wanted to share with you and the viewers the design that I came up with, that I finished. Just got to add in the logo and stuff for the new merch for Dead and Buried Treasures. Drum roll, please. I finished the Dirty Gertie.
Oh, look at that. Now, the most important thing is, though, Rich, is it Gertie approved?
It is. Believe me. That's why this one took so long, because she is my biggest critic as far as her own portrait goes. So I did have to show her and make sure it was all approved, and she loves it. It's approved. It's green lit to go. So I wanted to share it here before it gets released on Facebook, Dead and Buried Treasures Facebook page, or any other social media, on Instagram, Dead and Buried Treasures Instagram, and eventually now on Redbubble, available for t-shirts, phone cases, and as Dana Messino Kanji has always wanted to say, you too can shower with Gertie. So on shower curtains. She's been waiting for that.
Wait, you got to say it right, because it sounds like everybody can take a shower with Gertie. When you get the shower curtain from Redbubble,
yeah,
you can have that on the curtain so you can take a shower with Gertie.
Right.
Well, you better that boy. Let me see that one more time. Oh, that's beautiful. You did a great job with that.
Thank you.
Oh, that's very cool. Let me skip a little bit here and kill a little time with you. One of the reasons we had the idea of doing these t-shirts in the beginning, I'm so glad that you're continuing these new designs. We wanted to go to conventions, and then we got held back. COVID crept in, and then, you guys got COVID. I got COVID once. It was like not pleasant. And, you want to go to these conventions. Well, now that it's starting to get a little bit better, I really want to do some conventions in 23. I think it'd be a lot of fun going to Horror Hound and Monster Bash and Monster Fest and touring taking the show out there with us. And now we have with your wonderful artwork there, we create some new shirts and that aren't necessarily through Redbubble and have those at the conventions, and some other merch and even the comic book that we're planning that we talked about last time. So a lot of good things are happening. It's just little baby steps. It's just, one of the things you and I laugh about, Rich, that a lot of people don't understand. We ain't paid for this.
No.
This ain't our job, so we like to have fun where we can. And that's going to be great. I love that. That looked good.
Thank you.
Yep.
So I'm excited for that. I'm sure everybody will be seeing that design on Redbubble really soon. Just wanted to debut it here first, so everybody's going to see it here first if you're watching Walk the Plank, and then we will have it released on Redbubble. So keep an eye out for that.
Pat Rich on the back, everyone, because he does these wonderful drawings. And he mentioned it briefly on what he likes to call Inktober. Inktober, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, and he's done Aliens, he's done Jason, he's done
Predator. We did Predator. We did
Predator,
Chucky coming. I got all these other ones. Yeah, just about everything from horror.
Stay Puft Today. You mentioned you were going to do Scream,
Mm-hmm.
Ghostface, and he does these every day. And I'm like, I couldn't draw what you do in a month. So you got to check it out. Check it out on our Facebook page, Dead and Buried. These are great drawings. You have to scroll for them. I wish there was a way to separate them, but and I do have some news tonight. A website is underway.
Finally.
Yep. I have some workers on it right now, and you didn't even know about it, so it's kind of a surprise for you too. I'm working on a website now with a designer, and we're gonna, if you keep those Inktober drawings handy, we'll post those on there as well if you want. So a lot of different good things are happening for the show.
Great. I'm excited.
That'll be
great.
great.
We got about 5 minutes left here. Clock. Yeah, they're giving me the signal like, come on, let's get some questions. So we're going to do a couple questions here. We had a lot to talk about tonight.
I can understand. Yeah, go ahead.
So here we go. This one, little question here from Leslie Grazier from Jim Thorpe, PA. They ask, I have a feeling, or I'm feeling the real Wrath of Khan vibe here. Are you a big Star Trek fan?
Yeah, I know exactly what she's talking about. She's talking about the battle that's coming up. I'm kind of doing it. I'm a big Jim Kirk fan. The best commander of the USS Enterprise. I don't care what anybody says. Mm-hmm. And that's William Shatner, not Pike, but I like William Shatner as captain of the Enterprise. So there is a little bit of a Star Trek II vibe there between the two ships about to duke it out. And I wrote it that way as a salute to Star Trek, a little subtly, but I guess not so much so if somebody's actually figuring it out before it's even happened.
Yeah.
So yes, there is a bit of a Wrath of Khan vibe. Khan!
So we're right here in Pittsburgh, PA with David Schrent. He asks, he says, I do a lot of YouTube movies myself, and I like the Last Man on Earth episode. It looks like you used a lot of green screen layers, or am I wrong? Was that candy real? Was the candy real?
Yeah, yes and no. We're not really a YouTube show or a Facebook show. We're on what I like to call real television. But yes, there were multiple layers in that. There was some green screened, I think it were Baby Ruths, a bag of that. But then I had real potato chips. And then on Gertie's side, I think she had Kit Kats. Most of the candy was fake unless you saw us eat something. So I had real bags sitting around, but they were also kind of blended in with layers of green screen candy. I like to do that. Also, like, whenever I host a show, I always lean on that box, you know what I mean? Like this. And I'm like, tonight's movie. And I like to have something in the foreground to make it so you can touch something so it makes the ship seem more real around you. So when I'm sitting in the theater, some of it was green screen and some of it was actually real.
Well, it looked great. It really did.
Oh, thank you.
Let's go to Roanoke, Virginia. Sherry Stringer. asks, you are by far the best horror host show out there right now. I am so impressed by everything you guys do, the writing, the costume, the backdrops, the green screening. Even when you did your normal episode, the writing was top notch. Very funny stuff. What do you have planned for Halloween? Well, Sherry, I hope you're watching this episode because we're giving you a sneak peek of what he has planned for Halloween.
Yeah, why couldn't Sherry sit on the Emmy committee? We got nominated for an Emmy this year, but we didn't win it. So hopefully next year we'll have better luck. But I want her on the committee. If she likes us that much, she went into costuming and makeup and da-da-da-da. The Halloween show tonight is going to be a killer, Sherry. So hopefully you're watching and you have a lot of fun with it. And don't forget to watch the Pirate's Booty afterwards, because this man to my left, right, whatever side it is, I guess my left, is that right? Stage left, is going to interview me at length about, it's my turn to go under the hot seat and be interviewed about my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like we
this
did.
Is your life, Eric Sproul.
Well, I had a chance to do it with Aline. I had a chance to do it with Chris and Dana, Dana, Jasper, Professor Gertie, everybody. So I guess my turn under the microscope tonight. So make sure you stay tuned for the after show. That'll be a lot of fun too.
Yes. Oh yeah, definitely. Let's see here. Kurt from Great Glen, Nevada says, finally, the battle with you and the big bad guy. Why is it taking so long? Can't wait till the next episode.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The bad guy in Long John Silver, and that was almost 2 years ago, but a lot's happened. And when you do a show once a month, or maybe sometimes once every month, again, like this year, we wanted to start off with gangbusters. You remember everything was like, we're going to have an anniversary show and da-da-da-da, and then it seemed like everybody got COVID. And COVID's relentless. It's like when you get it, you're down. I got it once and I didn't feel like writing, and then they said, okay, let's get underway. And then like the miniatures for the ship took so long to make. And then we wanted to do a Chef Papa cooking show in the middle. And we had these ideas along the way, because the battle was supposed to take place in the 3rd season. And now here we are, the 4th episode into the 4th season. And it's just the way it is. Like somebody will say, oh, make a good idea if we do this. Oh yeah, let's do that. Well, we can only do it now because blah, blah, blah is only available now. And we can only do it right now, or maybe, next month. And I'm like, okay, so we have to push the battle off again and do this. And I say, okay, time to do it. Oh no, the Ren Fest is here. And it's like, yeah, we have to do the Renaissance Festival. Because if we don't do it, it's what the element is. And then the Ren Fest, we're like, okay, let's do the battle. Nope, it's Halloween. So we have to write another episode. So it keeps getting shoved to the back burner. So creatively, we kept trying to entice people into watching. And then I eventually wrote the bad guy is watching Captain Drake and the crew from a distance, to make it more believable that he's been observing them, looking for weaknesses instead of just hitting them right away. So he's observed enough in this next episode, not tonight's, but the one after. It's all about to hit the fan.
Well, I can't wait. So that's it. That's all the time we have. We have to get you to the show, and then stick around for the post show, the Pirate's Booty. All that is coming up. Stick around, and happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. See you in the after show.
15 men on a dead man's chest. Yo-ho-ho, and a bottle of rum. Drink and the devil be done for the rest. Yo-ho-ho, and a bottle of rum. The mate was fixed by the Boston spike.